One of my favorite games of 2017 was actually a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and it's been quite a while since you could say something like that without getting laughed at. The Genesis era, of course, had amazing Sonic the Hedgehog games. The Dreamcast, you could say it with Sonic Adventure, but pretty much since the Dreamcast, if you said, hey, there was a great Sonic game that came out this year and it was one of my favorite games of the year, people would laugh at you, because let's just face it, Sonic has sort of lost his way. But Sonic Mania was arguably one of the best Sonic games of all time, if not the best Sonic game of all time. I absolutely love the game. I did a full review of it last year. I picked it up on the PS4. I picked it up on the Nintendo Switch. Hell, I even picked up the collector's edition of the game because of the cool Sonic statue that came with it that said, Sega! But it was just so cool, and I loved it so much. Such a fun game. But there was one problem with the game, one really big problem with the game. There was no physical copy. How are you going to release a new Sonic game that's so cool and so retro and not give it a physical copy? Well, thankfully, Sega announced Sonic Mania Plus, and that this game would be coming to both the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, and the PS4, and would be getting a physical copy. But more so than that, it would be getting a bunch of additional features, additional characters, and additional game modes as well. So Sega sent me over a copy of Sonic Mania Plus to check out, so thank you, Sega, for the hookup, and I decided to review this game. I've been playing it a bunch, and I really have to say, this is probably the best Sonic game of all time. I've been having so much fun with this game, and there's just so much to enjoy. So let's talk about Sonic Mania Plus and why it needs to be in your collection.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards!
Now, before we get into the actual game of Sonic Mania Plus, I want to show you guys the physical copy of the game, sort of show you what comes with it. So, of course, you get this awesome lenticular sort of holographic cover for the game, which is just super cool. It looks so good, and I love the way it looks. Now, with the actual game, you have a reversible art cover for the game. So I went ahead and reversed it to the Sega Genesis side because this just looks so freaking cool. Like a Sega Genesis game on a Nintendo Switch, like just so awesome. But you can reverse it to the other side to be the more traditional Sonic style, but I don't understand why you would do that. I think you need to pretty much make it the Sega side, folks. You need to make it the Sega side. And of course, this game also comes with an art book, and the art book is actually really well done. It's minimalistic. It doesn't like say a bunch of stuff. It does talk about the characters in the game. It does include Mighty and Ray in the artwork as well, but it's just literally sketches and stuff like that, and I really like this. I really like looking at sort of the backgrounds and the inspiration for the game, and you know, even different logos for the game that they went through. So all in all, the physical presentation of this is top notch, especially for a $29.99 game. Like, you're getting a cool holographic cover, you're getting a case, and you're getting an art book. What really more can you ask for? So I'm really impressed with the amount of care and time that went into this packaging for the game Sonic Mania. Obviously, a lot of love went into this game. Now, if you are not familiar with what Sonic Mania is, let me give you guys a brief rundown of the game. So, Sonic Mania was actually spearheaded by someone named Christian Whitehead. Now, Christian Whitehead had actually been working on Sega Sonic ports for things like iOS, and he was porting over games like Sonic CD to the iOS without Sega's permission or anything like that. But Sega, being the company that they are, instead of sending a C&D to him, a cease and desist, they actually hired him to become part of their team and work on games, and that's how Sonic Mania was born. So the original Sonic Mania definitely feels a lot like a Sega CD version of Sonic the Hedgehog. If you've ever played Sonic CD, you sort of know what to expect with this game. And Sonic Mania is just a fantastic game. Like I said, I reviewed it last year. It plays great, it looks great, it's blistering fast, but it definitely has elements of freshness in it. You know, the gameplay is very crisp and very precise. The levels are very expandable. There's different ways to go in different paths. There's different ways to get through the levels. There's a lot of replayability within this game. So Sonic Mania Plus, it takes that core gameplay. The original gameplay mode is still there that features Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and expands upon that by adding in two new characters, Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. Now, honestly, I wasn't too familiar with Ray getting into this, but I did know Mighty the Armadillo. Mighty the Armadillo is, of course, from Knuckles Chaotix, so I was curious to see what these characters added to the game. And aside from the main game same mode in the game, there's a new mode called Encore Mode, and that's really the meat and potatoes of this new game. So as Encore Mode starts, you play as Sonic and you have to rescue Mighty and Ray, who are stuck in a little time capsule there, and it happens within the first level, so it's not like it's very long. But Encore Mode takes that original Sonic gameplay and really improves upon it, in my opinion, because there's a lot of deviations, some noticeable, some not so noticeable, that you will see as you're playing throughout Encore Mode, especially if you have played a lot of the standard mode in Sonic Mania, because there's little things like color palette swaps and different item locations and things like that. If you have everything memorized from the original Sonic Mania game, Sonic Mania Plus's Encore Mode really puts it on its head and switches things up. As of course you can play as Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. Now Mighty the Armadillo has a special attack where he could jump in the air and then you could press the button again and he comes down cascading really hard. And I actually noticed that you can do different things with that. It's not just for attacking enemies. I was actually able to block enemy projectiles and shoot them back at them with this addition that Mighty has in the game. So I thought that was really cool. Ray, I wasn't too big of a fan of. He's okay, like it's okay playing as Ray, but it's sort of like a hover thing that he has going on where you can dive down or you could sort of hover, and it sort of helps with long jumps, but I never really got the feeling I was fully in control of Ray. I always felt like I wanted to switch to a different character, and that's one of the cool additions in Encore Mode, is that you could switch between the different characters. There's actually an item pickup that allows you to switch between Sonic and a side character, so you could play as Ray or Mighty the Armadillo. Additionally, you can find additional characters within the levels as well, and even through the bonus stages. And so then all of a sudden you have at your disposal Mighty, Ray, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails all in one shot, and that makes it really fun, because switching between these characters on the fly and trying up different things to get through the levels is really fun, because each character really does feel unique. Each character really does feel very different. One thing I really liked about the Encore Mode is they actually changed the special stage up. Instead of just being that sort of Sonic 1 style special stage that we saw in the original game, it's a pinball stage. I'm like, who doesn't love pinball? Like, I really enjoyed the special stage in the Encore Mode. Playing the little pinball mode was a breath of fresh air because it was just so much fun. Yes, it's a pretty simplistic pinball table, but it keeps continually expanding. You can keep going up and up and up into different levels of the pinball table. And you can also get additional characters in there as well, and additional items to help you on your journey. Another main thing that they switched up in Encore Mode is they adjusted the boss difficulty. Now, me personally, I never felt that the bosses were overly challenging. They were pretty hard, and sometimes, you know, I would die and stuff like that playing the original game, but they did sort of soften the blow and adjust the difficulty on these. So I would say it's a little bit easier. It's still definitely not like super easy, but they did adjust the bosses to make them a bit easier within this game. Now, aside from the Encore Mode, there's also a competition mode, which is sort of a local multiplayer mode where you and a bunch of your friends get together and you race through the levels and try to see who can get through the fastest. Unfortunately, since this is local multiplayer and I have really no local multiplayer friends, I wasn't able to check out this mode. So it's sort of just a moot point for me. Obviously, I'm not going to be checking out this mode anytime soon. Maybe I'll get with Spawnwave and check it out with him sometime when we get together, hang out, go for breakfast or whatever, and I'll check it out then. But it does seem like it's fun. I just wish it had some online aspect to it, but I totally understand why it doesn't. Obviously, it's made for local multiplayer modes. So, Sonic Mania Plus, is it worth upgrading to? Yes, of course. If you picked up Sonic Mania on the original version of the game on the Switch, the PS4, or the Xbox One, I think it's like a $5 upgrade. And that Encore Mode really adds so much to the game. It really feels fresh. It really feels unique. And there's actually a whole new zone within the Encore Mode as well, the Angel Isle zone. So you're really getting a bunch of additional content for a very minimal fee. Now, if you never picked up Sonic Mania when it originally released, for $29.99, you're getting a fantastically beautiful packaging. You know, you're getting an art book, which is really high quality. You're getting a freaking reversible cover to have a Sega Genesis thing. I need to adjust this. I need to put this in here. It needs to look in all of its glory. Look at that. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Honestly, Sonic Mania Plus is now one of my favorite games of 2018. It's been pretty much a year since Sonic Mania released on the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One, and I honestly didn't feel like they could do it any better. But the addition of competition mode, the addition of Encore Mode, adding in Ray and Mighty the Armadillo really adds a new layer of strategy to this game. Encore Mode is definitely worth playing through again. It's worth playing through the main game again. It's worth playing competition mode again if you have local multiplayer friends. And honestly, this is a fantastic package. I love things like this. It's a great value. So if you're on the fence about it, don't be. This is arguably the best Sonic game of all time, and they somehow made it better by adding in more, and I couldn't be more pleased. So Sonic Mania Plus, a definite highly recommended game. I highly suggest you guys go pick this up. If you had Sonic Mania, it's definitely worth the upgrade via the eShop or PSN or Xbox Live because it's a cheap upgrade. But if you want the physical copy, you're definitely getting your money's worth with the physical copy. So let me know in the comments section down below what you think of Sonic Mania Plus, if you plan on picking it up, if you played it originally, or if you've been waiting for the physical copy. And thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We're doing all sorts of reviews on this channel, all sorts of new stuff. Who knows what I'm going to do next? And I will catch you guys on the next video. I'm going back to play some more Sonic Mania Plus. Later.